Today I'd like to showcase Brazos Bend State Park. Obviously, the front runner in terms of wildlife at this location is the American alligator. As you can see, the alligator is perfect for seizing prey, digging into the mud, and laying in wait for as long as it takes to get a meal. These animals are extremely patient, but every once in a while, they also go on the move. The diversity of wildlife in this park is difficult to imagine even if you spend a good 24-hour period in the park. And even then, you're still not likely to see everything that the park has to offer. With this amazing concentration of wildlife in one spot, you can imagine what type of encounters you might see when these animals cross paths with each other. And this park makes it pretty easy for you to see those events from their viewing platforms. The other thing is that there are so many things to do at Brazos Bend State Park. Where my interest might be to look for wildlife day and night, someone else, for an example, might enjoy riding their bike down the paved walkways or nicely leveled trails. It looks like fishing could be an extra challenge here. Kids of all ages get to explore their inner naturalist. Entire groups of people are known to smile after walking these trails. With its own observatory, this place is perfect for stargazing. And of course, there's the wildlife. So let's get going. Brazos Bend is about 3 hours from my hometown of San Antonio, Texas, so it takes a little bit of planning to get there before the sun comes up. Be sure to check the park website for hours and reservation information. Anytime wildlife is involved, I strongly encourage that you arrive at your destination before the sun comes up. This is when everything starts to come alive, and also this is when some things start to go to bed. As you can see, there are plenty of warning signs and cautionary signs throughout the park to let you know what to expect. More than that though, look how wide open these areas are, and look how many amenities you have. For an example, I'm walking on one of the many fishing piers and observation decks that are located throughout the park. And what a view! The deer were not happy with my early morning arrival. Once they felt they were a safe distance from me, they went ahead and stood still so I could take a couple of distant photos. Time moves quickly when you're having fun, and so does the light. So we decided to relocate to a different vantage point. As a reminder, wildlife is located throughout the park, so it's best to be mindful of speed limits and also your surroundings. Critters are everywhere. You just have to look. Sometimes they're looking at you without you even knowing it. And other times they're in plain sight, but their camouflage makes them hard to see. See the gator? Now you do. Here's a bigger one. It seems that when the big gators are out, it's also the perfect time to see dragonflies. Every once in a while when you're walking, you'll find pockets of dragonflies all over the place in unbelievable numbers. Oh, nice. Remember, the majority of the Brazos Bend State Park is the perfect habitat for alligators. Never let your pet near the edge of the water. Always keep it on the big, wide open trails as you walk throughout the park. If you're taking pictures, it may not be a good idea to try and split your attention between your pet and beautiful scenery around you. In the meantime, the trails are nice and wide. Obviously, the banks are always kept pretty tidy, so it's near impossible for something to surprise you up off the trails. Keep in mind, though, wildlife exists right up to the fringe of the trail, and oftentimes you can encounter it right on the trail itself as well. The red-eared slider is always a crowd favorite. It is quite photogenic, and oftentimes it can be spotted posing with other red-eared sliders or even alligators. Throughout my journeys, I've found that wildlife typically does not trust mankind. More often than not, this is how we see wildlife, always relocating itself to somewhere farther away from us. Once in a while, though, there's wildlife that's right off the trail that people are just passing right by without ever seeing. That provides a prime opportunity for myself to get video and pictures of the unseen, so I can share those treasures with you. It's always best practice to be aware of your surroundings, especially in nature. Being outdoors gives you a creative way to hone those skills. It also reminds us that sometimes it's best to let others pass before us. While at the same time witnessing nature's creative streak. And oh, what a palette she has. As sunset approaches, I remember a sign that I saw earlier in the day. There are plenty of animals in this park, but the one that I was after happens to be a venomous snake. The one venomous snake that I hadn't seen during any of my Texas adventures is the copperhead. Here you see a copperhead. I find the pattern on the southern copperhead to be absolutely gorgeous. Here you see a cottonmouth. Here you see a coral snake. Remember, in the state park, all wildlife and resources are protected for conservation purposes. You can always spot a broad variety of wildlife anytime you visit Brazos Bend State Park and take advantage of viewing the scenery at nightfall. Here you see a 9-banded armadillo rooting for food. Its diet consists mostly of insects, but it's supplemented with crayfish, eggs, and various small reptiles and amphibians. It also has extremely poor eyesight, so be extra careful when you're on the road driving at night. Remember, these are leave no trace environments. We should make better choices when it comes to all of our one-time use products. Because our litter isn't just an eyesore, it can cause serious injury to our wildlife as well.